fight tonight.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Jade up here. Today's video is going to be over my dungeon tank build that I've been running a couple days after Flames of Ambition came out. Me and a couple buddies went in there the first couple days and farmed Kinras just to get the daggers. And then I noticed, because I didn't really play around the PTS that much, but I did play around with Drake's Rush a little bit back before they changed it. It used to give it to 11 group members, but now it gives it to 3. So this makes it perfect for a dungeon setup. So what we'll do, we'll go over the basically the character sheet. We'll go over the armor that we're running. Excuse me, we'll go over the skills, and then we'll take a look at the CP. So first things first, let's go ahead and buff up. Alright, we are Nord Dragonite, 24 into Magicka, 39 into health, and then 1 into stamina. We're at 20k Magicka, 46k health, 22k stam. We're at 14 max Magicka recovery. I don't know why I said max Magicka recovery. 1700 health recovery and 13 stam recovery. We're at 35 physical or spell resistance and 32 physical resistance. Now the cap is 33k, so just FYI. We are running the Lord and of course Bewitch for the max stats that we get. The Lord Mundastone, it's totally up to you. We don't really need this much max health, but again, it's up to you, whatever your preference is. If you are not a Dragonite or a Nord, I can show you how to get a little bit more resistance here. As far as like the Dragonite goes, if you are a Warden or something else, it's fine. When we go over the skills, I'll kind of go over certain things that are something that you must have or that I think you should have if you run this setup. So let's go over the gear. First things first, the monster set we're going to be looking at is Bloodspawn. We have all heavy here. The helmet is sturdy and the shoulder is well fitted. I do a little mix of certain things. So when we come and we talk about traits, some say that sturdy is the best, others say well fitted is the best, and then you have others, and very few will say, oh no, reinforce is by far the best. When it comes down to traits when tanking, it's 100% preference, and it's up to you on how you play as a tank. So if you block a lot, sturdy's better for you. If you dodge roll a lot, well fitted's better for you. If you do a mixture of both, then mix up your sets and do some sturdy, some well fitted. If you are not a Nord and you're not really that tanky when it comes to resistance, add a few pieces of reinforce in there and you'll be good to go. And then mix in whatever you like to do. Hold block a lot, dodge roll, whatever. So Bloodspawn I think is the best choice here, only because you get a 6% chance to generate 13 ultimate, which increases your physical and spell resistance as well. So if you're not a Nord, this works really well for you. If you are a Nord, it's whatever, the physical and spell resistance, but the 13 ultimate is really nice. The other set that I really like using is Engine Guardian, since they tweaked it again. Whenever you use an ability, you have a 25% chance to summon the Twimmer automation that restores 5500 stamina or magicka or 2300 health to you every 0.5 seconds. Basically, all you're going to do is take 5500 plus 5500, and that equals 1 second because it's obviously 0.5. And then that's how much mag and stam you get. Alright, so those are the two monster sets I like running. You could run the Baron set, which is actually kind of nice. And I'll show you how to work that in your build. Basically what you'll do is you'll have the 5-piece set on your bar here, or excuse me, on your armor. Put this on, here's your monster set, and then your second set jewelry in front, and then your sword and board front bar. Now what this does is whenever you apply a status effect, you have to apply 3 status effects, and then it will generate you 4 ultimate. So what I like to do is I like to run the Asylum Staff, and since I run it anyways, if I do, I run it as an Ice Staff, so it applies brittle to the boss. So, and then the way that you do that, you run Crushing Shock or Force Pulse, and then they add here. All you're gonna do is just hit it, Crushing Shock twice, and this is giving you ultimate. As you can look down here, we're at 250, 255. As you can see, it just keeps going up, and it keeps brittle and the effects up here. So it works really, really well. Just kind of dependent on the boss that you're fighting, whether or not you can keep this up or not. I don't recommend it to newer players, but it is kind of fun to mess around with. Obviously, if you have this setup, I say go for it and try it. I personally just like Bloodspawn or Engine Guardian for more ultimate or more sustain. Totally up to you. First 5-piece set is going to be Drake's Rush. Again, the traits are 100% dependent on you as a tank and how your playstyle is. So, Drake's Rush, whenever you bash an enemy, you and 3 group members gain major heroism. Was it for 12 seconds? Yep, 12 seconds. So here's what it looks like as I bashed. And here's what the icon looks like. And you just see the ultimate just go up. Pretty crazy. And then here's the visual effect, as you can see. If you're colorblind, it just looked like a bunch of lines and sparkles around you. The second 5-piece set is going to be Arcasis. This is whenever you drink a potion, you and 3 group members gain 43 ultimate, and this occurs once every 30 seconds. So your pot cooldown is right now 45 seconds. Excuse me. So it's 45 seconds. If you do an infuse on your jewelry and then do a potion cooldown, which will bring it to 8 seconds if it's on infused, that'll bring down your potion to 37 seconds. And then if you do 2 rings or 2 jewelry pieces infused pot reduction, that's going to bring it down to 29 seconds. So you can do that if you want. I recommend, if you do that and you have tri-step pots, I recommend getting some trash stam or mag pots and putting them on the side of your wheel here, and then just using them instead of using your trash, instead of using your tri-step pots, just because tri-step pots are expensive. But this is a really good setup, and I highly recommend this setup here. As far as traits on the jewelry go, again, it's all preference and it's up to you. Enchants are the exact same, 100% up to you. I have these with infused tri-stat recovery glyphs on, just because there's a build that I'm using in a trial setup, and I'm just kind of like messing with it right now. But you can do infused, you can do stam, you can do stam, mag, healthy, whatever you feel the need you need, and it's kind of up to you. If you hold block a lot, you can do shield play to reduce the cost of blocking. If you want to do that, again, it's up to you. Whatever you see, whatever you feel the need to use or to have. Let me put the Arcasis staff back on. Okay. So as far as like the weapons go, we have infused crusher on the back bar with the lightning staff. Lightning staff right now is just kind of useless. It gives minor vulnerability, but then again, so does warden bugs, and there's like a lot of other ways to give minor vulnerability. Lightning staff is kind of just meh at most now. Ice staff is really good because it gives you a shield. And your group members a shield, so it's super nice. Inferno staff also procs this set here if you're running this set. This is another good set to run if you want to like buff your group more. If they're magic classes, running fire staffs. But infused crusher is what I like to use on back bar, just because it helps lower the resistance of the boss's armor. So really nice there. Front bar, we have infused shield, we have stamina there, just because, you know, whatever, doesn't really matter. And as far as like the one-hander goes, I have powered, but I would 100% do decisive. I only went with powered because I I was trying to negate something in a trial, and it just didn't work, and I just haven't swapped it since. But I would go decisive as far as like the enchant there. I just left it whatever it was, but you can do you know, crusher. You can do if you don't have crusher back bar. I mean, it just really depends. Like, you can do weakening front bar if you really wanted to. Again, totally up to you. As far as the skills go, I'll go over the skills that on the front bar as far as like what I like to run. Pierce armor, 100% need to use this. I think everybody should. Does minor breach and major breach, so it lowers the resistance of the boss by a crap ton. Your second choice here is going to be a heal, whatever self heal you have. Your third slot is like basically your flex spot, so it can be anything that buffs the group in any way. So like wardens have the little bugs, the little fly bugs that give minor vulnerability, so you can apply that. And then there's a second one here. I like to run igneous shields, so kind of like a self buff I like to run here. The other morph is fine too, makes major mending last longer, but igneous shield is kind of nice. It really doesn't matter. They both apply minor brutality. So if you have stam in your group, you hit this every about 20 seconds or so, it'll apply minor brutality. So super nice. Defensive stance. I really like running this set now, or like this skill now. Mainly because it reduces the amount of damage you can block, and the cost of blocking is reduced, and that's by 10%. So that's super nice. If you don't like using this and you want to run heroic slash, I say go for it, because heroic slash is nice too. It gives you minor heroism, so that's also super nice. As far as the ulti goes, I do aggressive warhorn. 100% if you do warhorn, do aggressive warhorn. If you need more mag recovery, you can do barrier, and then just make sure that you have 2 points into Magicka Aid, which will increase your mag recovery by a little bit here. So kind of up to you there. As far as back bar, I like Inner Rage only because it's a Magicka morph, and I like to have all my back bar Magicka with balance. Which brings us to our next skill. I like to run anything that gives us resistance here, and since balance is just too good for that, it gives you resistance and it gives you mag recovery, or it gives you mag back every time you hit it. It's just super nice. So that's why I really like using this skill. We have blockade here, 100%. I really think you should have at least a range taunt and blockade here. Especially if you're using like crusher on your back bar. This will apply the crusher enchant 3 times whenever you first lay this down on a boss, so it's super nice. Some type of CC, snare, immobilize, just something here to hold your ads in place is super nice. It just works really well for me on this spot, so I highly recommend having some way to immobilize your ads or CC them or something. I normally don't have crushing shock there, but I was only doing that for demonstration. Some type of chain, unrelenting grip, or if you don't have that, you can do silver leash here. And then when I run back bar, I run a defensive ultimate. So if you're like a warden or something, you can do the trees. If you're a Nightblade, you can do soul tether. There's just so many options there that you could run. Okay, so that pretty much covers everything except for the CP. Now, in the description down below, I will provide what I did is I had a previous video where I went through if you're at level 100 CP, or no, I did 160. Yeah, so I did a video at 160 CP all the way up to 1600 CP. So 160, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, all the way up, right? Of what I would put my CP into at those individual CP levels. So you could easily go through click on it, and then look at the description, look what CP you're at or going to or fixing about to be, and just kind of like adjust it accordingly to what you deem necessary. But the three major ones that I like to add up here, or excuse me, the four here, is going to be Boundless here, get you some max health, get you some increased armor, and then get you a little bit of recovery here. The last one I like to do is the Expert Evasion. Every 30 seconds you get a free dodge roll. That's even if you don't have the stamina dodge roll. This is so good. 100% get this. Some honorary mentions here. Hero's Vigor here, get some extra max health, and then Fortification. 100% get Fortification. I stress it quite a bit. It's a really good passive and 100% really good. All right, that pretty much covers that entire tree. Obviously there's some other ones that are pretty good. Reduce the cost of sprint, increase your movement speed while sprinting. Like, all those are pretty good, but I try to like hone in on the essentials, right? So Fortification, Hero's Vigor, Expert Evasion, some recovery, armor, and max health. All right, go to the blue tree. Yeah, you don't want to, it's fine. If you have extra points, you want to put some in there, you can, but not needed. The big ones here this is the setup that I like to run. So we put all points into our passives if you're able to. Again, if you're not able to, check out the video in the description. I'll leave it down there and you just click on it, find whichever one that you deem necessary, or whatever your CP is. If you're 1600, 15, 1400, whatever, I show you where to put your points. So all points in the passives here. And then I do Duelist to reduce the damage taken by single targets. This is really huge. Put this on your bar. Reduce your damage taken by damage over time effects. This is, again, really huge. Put that on your bar. And then Bulwark. Increase your resistance whenever you have a shield or frost staff on your bar. Really good right here. And then our next one, I don't put anything into here or anything else. I put it into Focus Mending. Normally, because in pugs and stuff like that, healers are not the best. So being able to have some self-healing there on your bar, and being able to heal yourself by quite a bit is actually far better than trying to rely on somebody who's maybe not that great. So increase your healing done with a single target heals by 2%. Really good. 100% not needed, but I find it to be super amazing to have in here. So really good idea to put points in here to kind of help yourself out. You don't really need this one to reduce the damage taken by AoEs, mainly because you can just easily move out of them. I know there's so many times that you just can't for obvious reasons, but I think the healing outweighs the AoEs on the ground, personally. Again, this may change later on, but that's just my 2 cents. Some honorary mentions. Every single one of these passives right here. Max Stam, Max Magicka, and increase healing done by 4%. Super good here. And then again here, increase 160 or 640 critical chance. So that's obviously super nice as well. Green tree here. I think Steed's Blessing, increase your movement speed, is 100% needed. Whenever you use a potion, you got a 10% chance not to consume it. That's so good. And then adds 30 minutes once it's full to the duration of any eaten food or drink. That's huge. And then if you're farming dungeons, you 100% want to try and get Treasure Hunter there. Those are the 4 that I think. Honorary mention here is this one right here. Improve the chance of extracting or, deconstructing, refining, anything like that. This tree, or this one right here, is amazing. 100% get this if you can. And then if you're still low on crafting, increase your crafting inspiration gain by 10%. Again, super good. But yeah, that pretty much sums it all up. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. I appreciate you guys watching and hanging out, and we'll see you guys in the next video.